Welcome to both of us. Both of us.
I'm back.
We're back. You're back. Yay to Astrology and Alchemy with Paranormal Sarah and Matthew Slosier. Guys, it's the dynamic that everyone loves, which is Matt and I doing the weekly astrology breakdown. But everybody wants to know where you were. How was your trip? Because you had predicted craziness, and then you shared on
I
social
did. And
media.
it's funny. I went back because I didn't remember it. And then everyone, like, when I started sharing, people that are on my Facebook started saying, you called it.
Mhm.
I'm like, so I have to go back. When we did the drive on Monday, which I'll get to this story really quickly. And then I'm listening to the replay, and I'm like, you're gonna get big curveballs over the weekend, and I'm like, yeah, I called it. To then my wife blamed me. She's like, well, you jinxed us. I'm like, I didn't jinx us. I should have saw it coming, but it's still, that's the thing about the like curveballs. It's like, even if you try to plan for it, you're not gonna see the thing coming. So, yeah, all right, we broke down, and so I'm 2 for 2. My wife has gone down to Florida with campers multiple times and has not had problems. I've done it twice and have ended up stranded right near Coosawhatchee, South Carolina. So there's something about it. Either I pissed spirits off there or did something there in a past life, because so I got stuck. I spent 2 nights camping in a truck stop. Ended up getting sick like halfway through the vacation. Almost got in a fight in a gas station. It just was. We had a torrential day of torrential rain. It was the weekend of adversity. So
yeah, these are the times.
Yep.
These are the
But
times.
I wore I did it Sunday. I got another one today. I'm doing my Disney. I can't shut. I'm doing my Disney shirts.
And you had a good time, and you saw the things, and you had all the adventures.
It was still fun.
Yeah. And you survived. I mean, ultimately, that's what it's about, is just being able to survive, to come out alive. Right? I mean, in today's day and age, there's some craziness going on. And so just for you guys being, did all 5, so that makes 7 people?
All 7 were there for some. So it was interesting because 2 of my daughters and Macy, who I'm just saying hi to in there, flew down. And so they actually arrived in Florida like 2 days before we got to Florida. But fortunately, we had friends that were also there, so they picked them up. And so all 8 of us were together for a couple of the days, and then the girls started flying home. And it was me, my wife, my other daughter, and 2 sons. Finished out the week, and then we drove back in a marathon Saturday night into Sunday that had me partially brain dead for the show we did together on Sunday night.
Yikes!
So now I'm back. I'm a little more rejuvenated. I'm less sick. I'm not better yet, but I'm feeling better today, and I got a little more energy. So
good. I actually did 2 witchy things today. Oh, there went my phone. For health and rejuvenation. Speaking of, because it's been kind of exhausting lately. The astrology, which I shared last week, people will have joined you. We will have all empathized with you. TikTok is all aloof with that. The Halloween time is referred to as the Tower time. If you're into divination at all, that gives you this idea. The Tower is probably the card that you don't want to pull. It's not the devil. It's not death. It's that card, because it's kind of this idea that Uranus and Taurus, that things are going to come out of just complete left field and knock you in the head and knock you out, and you're going to lose your scholarship and shit's going to go down. And there's nothing you can do about it. And we knew this. And in many ways, this came to fruition for a lot of people, or around us, in which case, if it happened around you, maybe you navigated, maybe you were able to prevent it, maybe you were just able to see it, that it's like a tsunami. The earthquake, you may not have been there, but now you're somewhere on shore, on the beach going, oh, no. All right, kids, get up. Like, it's coming. You know what I mean? Like, it will affect you. It does affect us, and we're all very connected in that way. So there was kind of a lot in that forensic space for me this week, where things went from being, suicides and overdoses last week to being like domestic and conflict and fights this week, where it's like, oh, kind of makes sense to the way things are going. But yeah. So we have a lot of astrology to cover this week, Matt. Are you ready?
I am ready. I had a week off, so I am ready. I have to say, Tower, we talked about this on Sunday, but Tower, my least favorite of the tarot cards. I have 3 that I don't like to pull, and that is Tower, 3 of Heart, 3 of Swords, and 10 of Swords. Unexpected change, heartbreak, and defeat. I don't like seeing any of those.
I find that my nose scrunches up to the Hierophant. When I pull that, I go,
I could kind of see. I could kind of, knowing you, I could kind of see how that would.
right? Somebody's manipulating you. There's a power struggle. Like, I don't know. I come out to play, it seems, when there's these dynamics or struggles and cryptic puzzles of things. Some of those power play cards, the Emperor, the Empress, like some of those more powerful cards, I think, kind of shimmy me. But it's been a tower place for sure. So whoa.
You know my background. See, it's never, but it's a weird thing. You know some more about my background. I won't get into it here, but it's interesting in that the way I'm wired, like I don't like those authority cards, but I'm not the one that will like publicly rebel and then get like smacked down or anything. I just do I'm going to do what I'm going to do anyway. So it doesn't matter what, the authority or the Hierophant or the Emperor says I need to do. At the end of the day, I'm going to do what I want to do. And if I can do it without the Emperor ever knowing I did it, that makes it even a million times better. So why deal with the grief of? So I'll have you think I followed your rule, and I'll just do what I wanted to do. And so
you appreciate the sly, where I'm totally a voyeurist. So it's like there's just that dynamic there, where I'm just like, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it on stage and win an Oscar. How about a Tony? Let's do it all 3. Like I just, whereas some people are just like, keep it down, shut up. Oh my God. And it's like, no, I'm going to announce it. If I'm going to get caught, I'm going to be prolific.
I'm all about efficiency and judicious expenditures of energy, partially because I have quadruplets. And so I don't want to waste the energy fighting or arguing with the person that's like, you should be doing. I'm just going to, cool. It's all good. And then they just go do my own thing.
Man, I can't imagine how just being has changed. I mean, again, what a life experience. I'm so waiting for your book. It's coming out. Everyone, just wait.
I gotta work. Yeah, I'm way behind on that. But
all right, Heather, Katie, Elderberry, all of you guys, Avi, all these great people from all over the corners of the world. Don't forget to share in the chat room where you're joining us from. Right, Heather, where's Mary? We've got all sorts of people. We're still waiting to join us, but that daylight saving times, I think, throws people off a bit. So no worries there, and no personal feelings. Offended people will pop in right when they are supposed to. But today, I don't know what life changes you guys were thinking about. I told you last week, the themes today were past life, future life, Moon in Capricorn, Pluto in Capricorn, self-control, taking advantage, what long-term life things are shifting today. I got a job opportunity that I turned down. It was a job opportunity in Washington, D.C. or Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And I said, no, I don't want to move right now. But that is kind of one of those ways where it was an internal, like, oh, this could like really change my thoughts and feelings. And then it could also be the Pluto, like, are you, is it gonna? But also it kicks up things from 2012, 2009, 2014, all those little waves of the Pluto tsunami that have changed our life in a lot of different ways. So I'm wondering how that maybe has affected you guys. But tomorrow, Wednesday, November 10th, we've already got how many things happening? Two big movements that are going to be happening. The first of these is a Mercury one. And anytime Mercury is shifting, guys, I'm always like, oh, goodness gracious. I don't know how you feel about Mercury, but Mercury in Scorpio squaring off with Saturn in Aquarius.
Ooh.
So Mercury in Scorpio squaring off with, what did I say?
Saturn in
Aquarius. Yeah. Okay. How do you feel when you hear that? Because that's just the first of the movement starting tomorrow.
All right. So for some of the new folks on here, I kind of do this as like, if anyone's old enough to remember these books he used to have as kids where you'd like change the panels and it would change the stories. That's how I kind of lay this out. So Mercury's thoughts and communication. Scorpio, I view the energy that's like the James Bond energy. It's intense. It's fixed water, so it is just there's an intensity to it. So these are, I would say, communication with a purpose, communication with an agenda. When I say with an agenda, that doesn't mean it's necessarily bad, but it's purposeful. There's not going to be a waste of words. There's an definite intent, intense intent to what that communication is going to be. Square is something in your way. So it's not a soft or positive aspect. It's something that these two things are kind of in conflict with each other. So what's square and in the way is Saturn, which is rules. I always think of the rings as like boundaries, but it's a weird combo right now because Aquarius is kind of the rebel and rebellious energy. So I view this as energy to break rules or change rules. And so you may have communication and intense thoughts and communication that are running into conflict, into rules that are kind of in flux. So adding that all up, I see this as just a lot of maybe communication that's kind of churning, maybe a lot of arguing over how things should be, how maybe the rules should be, how things should be structured. Social media is full of a lot of stuff now with like jab mandates and things like that. So I see a lot of like churning and arguing. Maybe some big development's going to come out on that front that's going to cause people to be spouting lots of stuff. So I see this as a very extroverted communication about rules and how things should be.
Should. And think about that word, because I think that is what's powerful, breaking free from demands, because, whose demands are these? It's that old therapeutic trick of when you find yourself really rumifying over the thoughts or the narratives or some, script that's like, that's this and blah, 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 and all this negative, and you go, oh yeah, well, who told you that? Who said that? Who said that? Who actually said that? That, man, shit, I guess I'm saying that. That no, right? And welcome, Dolly, Brianna, Katie. No, that mystery is expanding tomorrow as Mercury is in Scorpio, squaring off with oh dare, Saturn in Aquarius. Saturn, the rules, Aquarius, the throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Like, whoa there, hold up, wait a minute. And then this is what's going to happen in the evening time. So I'm going to go over here and press enter, because this is going to be what we find ourselves seeing in the afternoon, just after this shift. It's going to be adding Mars in Scorpio with Saturn in Aquarius. Yes. Mars in Scorpio, Mercury in Scorpio, squaring off with Saturn in Aquarius. So when you add Mars into there, fire.
It's all the same thing, but Mars is kind of that male energy. It's action. It's extra. I'll say more extroverted, but it's action oriented. So, before we had intense communication kind of squaring with this changing the rules. Well, that's also syncing up now with intense actions squaring off with people wanting to change the rules. So this is thoughts, communication, and actually people doing things that are running up against rules or ability to change the rules. So I see this as protests, people acting on top of other, some of these communication things and stuff. So I actually see, there could be a lot of turmoil tomorrow. And I'm kind of, my gut feels around kind of this jab stuff that's going on with the mandates. It could be something totally different, but I see this as a, people are going to be pissed about stuff, and they're going to be speaking about it and acting on it. That, this is how things should be. And I want to give a shout out to Abby with the Libra. I got as people are probably sick of hearing. I'm not a sun sign Libra, but I got a lot of Libra energy. So I will throw my fellow energy to a fellow Libra there.
Well, I'm wondering. I'm trying to think who is it that it's going to be.
I'm thinking it's jab stuff. I'm thinking something like, truckers are going to like do some kind of like protest, or, airlines again. There's going to be something on this. But I could be off. Just don't lose. If I'm off on the
No.
specifics, keep the energy, keep the general energy and theme in mind. I might be off on the specific thing, but I see this kind of like the Scorpio versus the Saturn, Mars and Mercury. I see this as like a protest turmoil type dynamic.
Yes. And I feel like I can't think of his name, so I'm having that brain fart moment. It's a California governor. I want to say it's
Newsom.
Thank you. Who's been missing for like 12 days after having gotten his COVID shot, and like he's canceled all these things, and like weird stuff's going down. Like, man, the conspiracy theories of the Travis Scott concert, crazy things flying around over California, just weird. I think that tomorrow's going to be a good day for information. When I see Mercury in Scorpio, Mars in Scorpio, Saturn in Aquarius, knowing that that has been kind of the shift, the rules, this is going to be interesting. And when I go to my astrological cheat sheet, this says use nails and anchors. Think of the fates. Think of the past, the present, the future, and what it is that you need to do and not do. Very interesting. You guys, this is always that great time to get out a piece of get out a piece of paper, journal or channel, or write down what it is that you are predicting for the next week ahead. How is this going to affect you? What is it that you can do to kind of adjust and kind of get that meditation space ready? Because Thursday's going to be pretty uneventful. Not a whole lot going on. However, there is a second quarter moon shift, and the moon right now is, aren't we waxing?
Yeah.
Yes, I believe we are.
We're waxing.
We are.
It was just a new moon over the weekend, I think.
It's a waxing crescent. So the next full moon is in 9 days from now. So we're in a 9-day countdown. The second quarter moon will be in Aquarius. So what does that mean? Second quarter moon in Aquarius. What should we expect for Thursday, the day of creativity?
Well, I know I always say this. You're more in tune with the moon thing than I am. But the new moon was Scorpio, right? I was out last week, so new moon was Scorpio. So if that cycle is again kind of emotional, moon is emotional, your inner world. So if this is a cycle of kind of emotional intensity, as that intensity builds, Aquarius is again kind of that rebellious energy. So I would view this is a time of emotional introspection to look at what rules or what things in your life need to change to get you better emotional stability. So channel that intensity that is very highlighted right now. There's a lot of things in Scorpio, and look at the world around you and decide what is working for you and what is not, and what you need to change.
Adjustment. Think about the ways that you're growing and shifting and purging and moving. Like, think about the rules. I think about, in my professional space, this is probably a time of real awareness where people are going to change their morals, their ethics, their standards, their expectations. Man, that's going to be a lot. It might be because of the environment putting pressure on them to do so. It might just be the time. But this is going to be when we're looking at it. This is going to be when it happens. So, understanding perspectives, seeing the shifts, purge, binge and purge. We're not, of course, instigating eating disorders. Absolutely not. We mean this in a metaphorical way, spiritually. Get rid of the things you don't need. And actually notice what it is you're starving yourself of. Be aware of what it is you're binging, what it is that you're grabbing at and obsessing over. And tell yourself, well, why is it that I'm acting this way or feeling this way about this? And is that wrong? Or is this natural? Is this something I do need more of? Or is this a want that's gotten out of control? The moon in Aquarius will be a really good time to think about that, I think. So So then we have Friday, where, oh my goodness, can we handle any
I always
more?
think of the fly on the wall now. What's going to be the interesting things in the bars and clubs
Oh my
for the
gosh,
weekend?
Friday. Well, and get ready, because can we handle any more Scorpio? I guess. The universe is like, oh, it's Friday. Oh, after a new moon in Scorpio. Oh, fuck it up. Yeah, no, make it really. Make it rain. And what does make it rain mean? Very similar to kind of this Travis Scott experience, which if you're not into the pop culture news, oh my goodness, some weird supernatural craziness there that I wonder if the paranormal community is really talking about it because there's a lot of craziness. Humans, remember, are the worst of it. And the sun's in Scorpio, trine Neptune in Pisces. So that means in the light is the scorpion, charismatic, charming. Oh my God, is that a scorpion? Delusions, dreams, unlocking codes to cryptic secrets on a Friday night. What? What does that even mean? That's the Matrix. That's imagine the scene of the Matrix where suddenly Morpheus and the white rabbit is there and you're like, what? And it's like, what? And you're like, what? And it's like, huh? And you're like, huh? And then some guy with glasses is like, what? And you're like, what? That is what's happening on Friday. Anyway, Matt, Sun in Scorpio, trine Neptune in Pisces.
Anyone that watches this show for any length of time knows where I'm going to go here. This is water with synergy of water, and I never do well on heavy water days. So my initial response is, Matt's going to have a bad day Friday. Yeah, it always affects my mood. Anyway, so trine is kind of synergy. You got Sun in Scorpio. So we talked a lot about Scorpio. There's been a lot of Scorpio things already. So Sun's your kind of external, extroverted self, almost your core self in this intense space. I call it kind of the James Bond space, having synergy with Neptune in its home sign of Pisces. Neptune is dreams, fantasy, delusion. It's foggy. It's, is it reality or is it what you want to see? So this is your kind of core being, extroverted self, throwing itself into this intense space, aligning well with kind of your dreams, kind of desires, fantasy type stuff. So this is a very large chance to be deluded. So, things are going to seem to align. You could act in a way that everything seems to be lining up with what you want or what you wish for. But always with Neptune, trust but verify, because what you're seeing may not be reality.
Put me
So
back
since it's
in.
a Friday, going to be a lot of people making misplays on Friday.
Misplays? Could it be a good play?
Many people, I always go kind of the romantic thing on this, but it might be people like, articulating their feelings only to find out that they're just a really good friend or, stuff like that.
No.
Misreading. Your chance of misreading something is like really high on Friday.
Because what I think about is like for me, what and where I'll be doing. I'll be working on Friday. I'll be driving on Friday. And then I will be staying with a family friend who's very crazy, emotional, theatrical. And I'm like, oh no, this is going to be when that person comes barreling down the stairs with a bottle of wine going, come on, let's watch some. And it's like, no, let's not. You're done. We're not doing it. The sun in Scorpio, though, is when you talk about those emotions, you may not expect them. It may not be what you expect. So I also know I'm hoping to do a photo shoot with some new clients and some old clients. Old clients, of course, it's always, wow, look at how much you've changed. This is great. New clients, it's misunderstanding cues or learning how to build rapport, doing so after, a pandemic, which, that can always be difficult.
I got a real weird example. So that Scorpio intensity. So let's say you have this intense desire that you really feel you're a good singer, but you can sing, I can't. And so now you're out and you really are this, and it's a karaoke opportunity. There's all these people and all of a sudden the light's on you and you're like, oh, this is it. It's all aligning. This is my chance to do it. And you get up there and you have one of those like horrible, like American Idol, you just cannot come close to singing at all. And just Yeah, and then reality just comes and smacks you upside the head. But it's that kind of, you have that intensity and what you really want, and I have a feeling that on Friday it's going to all of a sudden kind of all align and look like, oh, this is really it. This is really it. And in some cases that might be true, but you're going to have a high chance of misreading that day. So just be really careful on Friday.
Be careful on Friday. Just be careful on Friday. Don't. And when we say that, of course, our advanced witches, what do you do with that? How do we use that? This is understanding that if it is synergy of water and you have water on water, that you understand your own birth chart, your own alchemy, and you go, you know what? I'm going to need some extra grounding. I'm going to need some extra stones. I need some my mushrooms with my tourmaline and my obsidian. Where's my agates? Like I need my roll-ons. I need all my things to help me keep from being emotional. And when someone goes, can I give you a call really quick? That you go, yes, in 5 minutes. Like you have your moment first, that you set your boundaries first, that you prepare for it. It's not, stay home, shut the drawer, do nothing. It's if someone goes, hey, can I borrow you to do like a project real quick, like that? Like this is not the best space to be impulsive or spontaneous, because you might find yourself being the next viral person on some horrible thing that is on national TV, and it's like, oh shit, I didn't mean for that to happen. That's Neptune and Pisces. I didn't think that could happen or be real. Guess what? We all fly around in little spaceships in our, battery operated thing somewhere. Yes, weird things. Neptune and Pisces do not underestimate. And it's happening on a Friday after a Scorpio new moon where people are making life transformations and, doing dark secret things. Someone said to me, which I'm really interested in your thoughts on this, Matt, a client that's not astrologically there, like they don't utilize astrology yet, and said, they said it occurred to me that the Christian Bible mentioned the great goddess or the goddess archetype has gone from the earth goddess to the shift in Aquarius is now an air goddess. So it went from being nurturing and about fertility to mystery and seduction and power. And I was like, ooh, that's an interesting way of looking at it, because that's what happened astrologically speaking to some of the yin energies recently. So, in the last few years and recently in the last month or so. So, cool things to mention. That is Friday. What does that mean for you? How do we prepare? All the things, write it down, send us a chat, give us a direct message, and then Saturday.
Two quick things before you get to Saturday about Friday.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you ever see that meme about "Trust me, you can dance," and then it shows a bottle of tequila, that's Neptune and Pisces. So view that too. Neptune and Pisces is kind of like tequila. So yeah, there's another way that helps you view things. And then what you're saying about, like, which type things and what do you do to so for me, whenever I have a water on water, I realize that I'm emotionally gonna, because I've just noticed it. And we said before, I do the Excel tracking. I've just noticed I tend to when I look in reverse, I'm like, man, I'm having a rough day today. And then I look and see that it's usually water on water. I'm emotionally unsettled. So I do a lot of extra self-care. So I'll have a mental note Friday. I'll do some extra self-care stuff on Friday. And I will also try to avoid anything that might be emotionally difficult. So if I have the option of anything that might be a stressful work discussion or work meeting or any kind of stressful thing, sometimes you can't avoid it. But if I have the option to make a change on there, I will take that off of a day where I have water on water. Because for me, and this isn't everybody, a lot depends on your chart. I have no water in my chart, so I find that I have a rough time when it's water on water. And I'm going to pull myself off here for a second as you tee up the next one, as I deal with my dog that's mad because my son left.
Yeah.
Walked at
Absolutely. Well, and I put in the chat that this is also for me. So one of my modalities is neurolinguistic programming. So whenever I'm doing mentorship or if I'm doing counseling, being able to pay attention to a person's language is an anchor to what it is that's going on in our cognitive structure. So language cues matter. I would say that in a space that's very watery, whereas, like, for example, I am prone to saying things like, ooh, how did that make you feel? And that can totally pool over into my friends or my family or other conversations that I have, and it's otherwise okay. I'm going to be very, very aware on Friday, because it's a Friday, because it's also 11, 12, 2021. Like as I'm writing the numbers, I'm just aware of the sun in Scorpio. I'm aware of the signs and sigils. I'm aware that I need to not say, "Ooh, how does that make you feel?" That instead I need to just be going, I want to be the thinking man. I want to keep my mouth shut. I don't want to stay open. I want to close down to certain things and only stay open to the things that I give permission to. Permission will be very important on Friday. So be aware of that. So Saturday. Oh, I'm so glad you're here joining us because Saturday. Oh, this is what's happening. Mercury's in Scorpio. So we're still having that communication, and the sly scorpion could get you anywhere. But it's opposing Uranus and Taurus. What do you think?
So I said that there's a lot of planets right now that are in weird signs. Like Saturn is kind of like the opposite of Aquarius, and I kind of view Uranus and Taurus as kind of opposites. In that Uranus is that curveball, the rebel. It kind of rules Aquarius, and then you have Taurus, which is the big bull on the hill, stable and indulgent, doesn't want to really move. So it kind of goes counter to rebelling if you really don't want to do much of anything. So and opposites. Different than what a lot of people think. So like squares, when it's in your way, I view opposites as kind of like almost like poles on a magnet. So on one end, they complete each other, but on the other end, they're totally different. So there's tension. So opposites more of a tension. So here we have, we talked about earlier, Mercury, thoughts and communication, Scorpio, intensity, emotional intensity, very, very purposeful in its actions. Having tension with, I want to change and rebel things, but I want to be stable, indulgent while doing it. So I always think of Pepper because she makes fun of me with my pizza, but it's like I'm going to rebel by F my diet. I'm going to sit on the couch and eat a pizza and watch Netflix.
Yeah.
So it's rebelling by indulging. So you have that tension with, so I want to communicate this intent, I have this intense purpose and I really want to communicate it, but I also have this tension of, well, that might like require a lot of effort, and I just want to sit and like relax and chill, and then so it's that kind of. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow.
Well, and then knowing this about Saturday. So Saturday is really important. So for me, Saturday, I'm going to be exploring the river market. I'm going to be doing a new type of yoga I've never done, doing a Reiki session I've never had performed, and then I'm going to have my car worked on. And then hopefully another photo shoot and family time. This is all going to be a very busy day. And so I think about this and I think, okay, Mercury's in Scorpio. People are going to be divulging their emotions. People are going to be divulging their secrets. There's going to be mystery and kind of cryptic things going around, flowing, new ideas, projects. Ooh, you're never going to believe this. Oh my gosh. Be wild, be creative, be all the stuff, because the Scorpion can be that. And Uranus, I mean, come on, let's face it. Uranus is the butt of the joke. Uranus can be anything. Uranus can be crazy and funny. Uranus it spins its own way. It's cold. It's doing crazy shit out there. Uranus is probably a big spaceship. If we're concerned about there being a possible Death Star out there, it's Uranus. And that thing is in the sign of a bull sitting on a hill. You know what I mean? So this is discussing secrets. Well, if you tell it, it's not a secret anymore. Yeah. Bury the secret. Talk to the secret. Find a middle ground. Things might be unplanned, and that makes them spontaneous, but you can also have spontaneity that's planned. You can have wild and crazy to a certain extent. You can. You can have a middle ground.
I got to interrupt. I got two things, but I got to interrupt real quick because I always like when we have odd things. This is more like the Sunday night thing, but I just got an overwhelming smell in this room of like the attic at my like grandparents' house. So it's very weird. So I think I'm gonna have a visitor with me tonight. It's definitely a smell that doesn't fit this house. And it got really, really strong. So people saw me start looking around. That's why I like all of a sudden got this wave of this old like attic smell, which is really, really odd. But I was gonna ask, and you don't have to answer. I was just curious, what kind of yoga are you trying that's different?
So I'm doing the barefooting where you like hike like, I don't know, a half a mile barefoot, and then you go out and do your yoga barefoot in the woods.
Okay.
But it's like it's not grounding, it's not barefooting, it's but it's kundalini yoga, so it's hot heat to move my anger. It's to move my anger and give it back to Mother Earth.
I got you. I
And
used to do. I haven't done it recently, but I used to do it before COVID and stuff. I used to do a lot of the hot yoga. I love that. But this is probably gonna be too much. This is probably gonna be TMI from some folks. But I realized, I was a premature baby, and you realize that like preemies, their nerves don't always get like totally baked, and so I think this is a residual thing in that I hate capital letters, exclamation points, any sensation on the bottom of my feet. So I go barefoot hardly anywhere. So if I go to like the beach and stuff, like I'll do it, but the whole time I walk on the beach, I'm just like, it was just like any texture. So when you were just saying that about hiking like a trail, like in the wood, I'm just like,
right. Well, and for me, it's weird. I take a lot of sensation through my feet, and so I expect it to be, an interesting experience. But I am, and I've gotten a lot better in the last few years just from desensitization of living in the woods. I have a thing with parasites, ticks, ringworms, any kind of a leech, any kind of anything like that. So the idea that I am going to possibly be barefoot, kind of hiking, with this old friend from school, and that there definitely is going to be ticks and leeches. And they're like, oh, yeah, you just, before you get comfortable, you just pull them off. It's no big deal. And I'm like, that is enough to make me want to cut my legs off. I'm not even kidding. Get the rubber bands out. I want them off. My whole leg. Take it off. And so anyway, it's just kind of an experience that I expect to be when we look at Scorpio, when we look at like these internal things. Chiggers, says Pepper. OMG, they have chiggers. Ah! Oh God, that's like a parasite of the skin, kind of like, oh, I did it.
I had a really, really horrible experience with chiggers once.
These
Really
are
horrible.
issues. So these are all, things sprinkled in between those experiences that that I expect to be kind of sharing. Again, TMI with that Uranus and Taurus. It could be wild. It can still be planned. It can be crazy. We can learn great things. We can know our limits. we can. We can do that. So just set it. If someone's like, I don't know, let's go skydiving, be like, let's go get smoothies at that new place down the hill. Like, let's still go do something, but let's not get crazy. If you're someone who spends a lot, maybe you're on a lot of that medication that's being sued for causing sex addiction and spending of money and gambling. Don't go spend money on Saturday. Don't go do those things on Saturday. Don't go shopping, right? How else might we be able to use that energy in a productive way? Mercury and Scorpio opposite Uranus and Taurus. I don't know. After Friday, let's see. Okay, Sunday.
I would
Let's just
say write down whatever your intention is that you might want to procrastinate. Just write it down, and then see if it still looks like a good idea on Sunday. I know I give that advice a lot, but I think it's in general good advice. But then again, I don't have a lot of Aries energy, so I'm not very impulsive. So
You got it. Dolly says that's the autoimmune brain messing with your vibes, Sarah. And this is true. My dad is dying of an autoimmune disease, and my mother-in-law has an autoimmune disease, and I have extreme allergic reactions to like MSG and other synthetic things, and so things killing me from the inside out, anxiety. These are real things, okay? Yeah. Anyway, enough about me. Let's more about astrology. Sunday, November 14th. November 14th. The moon shifts. Ooh. It moves into Pisces. It moves into the fish. Sextile Pluto in Capricorn. So the inner moon in Pisces, sextile harmony, Pluto, planet way out there in Capricorn, which just moved today in Capricorn. So we're going to see some of that, whatever was happening today, kind of mimic again this coming Sunday, but the moon will be in Pisces. What does that mean?
Well, first of all, it means my son just came home from work, so expect to hear my little pack of 5 chihuahuas go nuts in about 30 seconds. But sextile, always view that as removing obstacles too. So here we have the moon in Pisces, moon, your internal emotional self, Pisces, last subject, see if they're starting. Last sign in the zodiac, so I kind of always view it as this wise kind of deathbed perspective. It's emotional. It's almost, there's a little bit of like almost like sacrificial energy to it that, my time here is done, so I will give myself to something. Removing obstacles to Pluto, the big change, the impersonal change. Pluto doesn't give a crap. It's big, massive, profound changes in Capricorn, which is, the goat climbing the mountain. So, success driven goals. So putting this all together, a deep emotional introspection, removing obstacles to profound changes to accomplish things. So I see this as your emotions might sync very well with some of the big currents going on in life that are moving you towards big changes that will drive your success. So it's a positive combo.
It's a positive combo. Take control over something that helps you feel more comfortable. Things are going to be fine. Things are going to work out all right. They're going to unfold exactly as they should. Some of the chat there, Pepper and Dolly and everybody, Mary in the chat room, are talking about autoimmune disorders and allergies and empathy. And this is kind of a lot of that, kind of some of those themes that on Sunday, that empathy, the inner stirring of relations, needing to cleanse and detox, wash and clean, invest long term, grow, change, knowing that it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to be something that, you know, it's going to be okay. It's like this yearning and stirring of a long term light that is going to come to fruition. And what can you do about it now? Well, you can only do what you can do today. And what does that mean? What's that going to be? So think about that. What is that going to be for you when you're hearing that right now? What do you think that that's going to be? I don't know. I mean, I have my ideas what it'll be for me. Do you know what it's going to be for you, Matt?
Uh, you know, we got a lot of, we just got back from the vacation. We got a lot of plans of what we're going to do between now and the holidays and trying to get a lot done and things. So I'm kind of hoping, maybe a little overly optimistic, that just things will align very well on Sunday. And since I'm got a lot of Capricorn energy as well, so I like to get things done and accomplish things, that it will be churning towards a very productive week next week.
I will be driving back from doing a check-in that includes a long drive. Hopefully the car has been cleaned and updated, and I've done the work and it's all done, and I didn't pay an arm and a leg, and it all worked out, and they didn't find anything worse than they needed, right? And you think, okay, long term, how is this going to be? How is this going to pan out for me? Moon in Pisces, there might be a lot of feelings that long drive. I always think a lot. I'm always planning a lot. A lot of books come to my mind. I'm in the middle of writing a lot of books, and I'm trying to prioritize how and when and what with the winter and the snow falling and storms moving and, things that I want to do, put on the house, work in the house, clean. These are all things that are going to happen on Sunday. And so join us in that space. Think about how you can channel any negative, toxic energy in your space. What can you get rid of? And how can you make that work for you on Sunday? Okay, then you have Monday. Monday. Man, Monday. Okay. Monday's going to mimic something that we saw happen. What was that? When did that happen? Was it Friday? It was. We're going to have a little bit of whatever it was on Friday. We were telling ourselves, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, don't look. It's not real. It can't be real. On Monday, the sun is going to be in Scorpio, still, again, twitching. And it's going to square off with not Saturn in Aquarius, not this time. It's squaring off with Jupiter in Aquarius. So Matt grins. What does that mean?
Jupiter's fun. I know you always go Chris Farley. I almost think of like Belushi and Animal House. It's just it's opportunity. It's whereas I view, and I know I'm kind of mixing a planet and a sign here, so it's kind of I don't want to do that. Jupiter rules Sagittarius, and so I kind of view a difference between Sagittarius and Gemini, and that Gemini is like the party social butterfly going around talking to everyone and interacting, and Sagittarius is the one like doing wild stuff, like air versus fire, talking versus doing. So Jupiter is opportunity. So I always say Jupiter's like that car pulling up and the door opening up going, hop on in, we're going to go to this. And the sign is the place. So Aquarius is rebelling and breaking rules. This is kind of bad. This is, hey, we're going to have this huge opportunity. We're going to go and break some shit or, stir some stuff up. Square is always in the way. So here we have Sun, our kind of core extroverted self in this intensity, intense space. So we have, intention. We have this channeled emotional energy. We know what we want to do. We know what we want. The one thing I'd say about, Scorpio is, again, if you just think of the scorpion, that it's, it's kind of nocturnal. So they're not going to necessarily show outwardly what the intent is, but there's definitely going to be intent there. What's in the way is all these opportunities to break the rules. So I view this as you may have a plan and an agenda on Monday. You may be very intentional and intense on what you want to do. There's going to be other people coming in here and just changing stuff up that's just going to totally like F it up for you. This is like everybody else is just going to be in doing shit that's going to like totally blow up your plans.
I feel like what the universe is showing me as you're describing this is first of all, I hear the kid from The Simpsons. Ha ha.
Yeah, exactly.
I hear
exactly. You have this grand plan, and this kid, and like it didn't work. That's exactly it.
Whatever you do on Friday or don't do, because there's some of that too. Like whatever the delusion is, the red pill or the blue pill. On Monday, it's when you have to like, welcome back, everyone, and how was your weekend? And you have to reiterate what it was you did on Friday. And someone's like, holy shit, I was there, and have it on camera. And then you have to watch it, and everyone has to watch what it was that you endured on Friday. And it's, ha ha. And there's going to be this incense, like Jupiter saying, like, show me more, the force that you need to go, God, I can't believe I did this, or exhausting, whatever it was that you thought it was, to see it in that way. The Sun in Scorpio, the Jupiter in Aquarius, it is going to force responsibility upon yourself if you don't or didn't want to. You're gonna feel like, well, fuck, now that you say it like that, like, well, now I should, yeah. There's going to be an interesting kickstart to something going on Monday, that there's in essence, a humiliation factor, or like a look at it, put your nose in it when your dog shits in the carpet, like, that was you, like, son, there's something going on here.
I have a crazy example. I'm just going to go, you're doing your
Okay.
yoga thing. Okay. And it's just, and you're a little embarrassed and self-conscious about it. So it's just you and maybe two other people, and you're out in this clearing and you're doing whatever poses out there amongst the sticks and stuff. And all of a sudden, out of the woods comes like 10 people from high school that you haven't seen in 20 years. And they're like, Sarah, we were just out on a hike. You do yoga? And you're stuck there in the middle in some kind of weird position. And you have all these people that haven't seen you forever. Just that's the kind of Sun and Scorpio versus Jupiter.
And then Monday is when all of a sudden, after you get through it and you thought about it all Sunday with the moon and Pisces on that drive, like, well, it wasn't that bad. It was nice. It was kind of, and then on Monday, it's going to be tagged, and it'll be my ass up in the air with yoga leeches on my feet.
Yeah.
And
hey,
yeah.
look who we
ran into.
Long lost Sarah, and then it's out, and 4,000 likes and comments. Yeah, and it's just there you are.
Mm-hmm.
Then you become a meme, and then there'll be like these memes. But yeah,
why not?
Just,
yeah, absolutely. That's exactly how it happens. That's exactly how it happens.
That is this aspect that we're seeing. that is my best example of how that.
Yeah. That's going to be. So you guys, we do this every week, and you know that every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, we are breaking it down. And here we are in the last 10 minutes, and we are too next Tuesday, the last day. And Tuesday's going to be, well, it's going to be a lot of craziness as well. And there's going to be that skip, that ripple that we're seeing, that kind of tells you how things are going to go. Let's face it. So on Tuesday, when the sun is in Scorpio and the Pluto in Capricorn is sextile to that, we are going to go, okay, I'm kind of familiar with this. Yep, that's what I did this weekend. Yep, I did those things. Yep, everyone's laughing. Okay, great. Now I'm a meme. Now I'm rich and famous. So how is my life going to change? That's more things coming to light and essentially changing our lives for the long term is kind of how I see that. But when you're looking at that, Matt, what do you see for Tuesday,
I see
November
almost, this is
16th?
interesting. I see it as almost the opposite of the last one we just talked about. So if you can endure Monday and possibly the embarrassment from Monday, sextile again is removing obstacles. So this is your, core self again, and that intensity and that intention you have. And obstacles are going to be removed to these big, profound changes in Capricorn, which is, climbing the mountains, accomplishing things and stuff. So this is a very good synergistic energy to kind of channel with, again, those currents that are going on to be able to accomplish really good things. So if you can kind of survive the odd crap that might happen with your goals and intentions on Monday and not give up, Tuesday, all of a sudden everything shifts and things start moving along. So maybe you have a lot of bumps in the road on Monday, but persevere, because Tuesday things smooth out. You should be able to, the things that maybe you weren't able to get done on Monday, kind of that road will clear on Tuesday and you'll be in good shape.
So funny that sometimes your language is so serendipitous. So focus is the neurolinguistic programming word of the day, and core and focus, meaning that this is a day to focus or think or see or observe or hone in on, right? Focus, however it is that you do that, on how to fix and find answers, solutions to the problems that are vexing you, that you're thinking about, all those things that have been complicating or that you've been overthinking, like all this kind of stuff, right? That core understanding the simplicity, getting to the center, getting to the simple, all the binging and purging and cleaning and thinking and overthinking on Tuesday next week, a week from today, that seed magic, that original sin, that, now that I actually think about this, it's so simple. I kind of expect maybe an epiphany, an aha moment to happen on Tuesday. If someone is reaching out for psychic readings, if you yourself are wondering, man, when am I going to start seeing some answers to all this craziness? Or when am I going to feel the sense of, reduction and improvement and like, oh, this will work. This might be somebody calling me up after I go viral on a goat leech meme and the yoga woods experience, telling me that they'd like for me to be their new advocate for their yoga line. And the merch is going to pay me, $300,000 a month if I can just take some pictures with leeches, and I have to force myself to go through with it. But the leeches clean my blood of all my toxins and I'm magically healed of all my issues. You never know. Magic works in mysterious ways.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes you think, man, what epiphanies might you have on Tuesday? Where do you think your epiphany is going to come from?
That's tough. Well, since I think Sunday things will line up for a very productive week, Monday I expect some bumps in the road. So knowing just the way that I'm wired, I'll probably be like internally raging over what happens on Monday, because I don't like when things don't go the way that I plan. And so all of a sudden Tuesday I'll be like waking up and like everything will be okay. Why was I so upset on Monday? Everything will be okay. We're back on the path. We're back on the plan, and just keep going that way. Now, I've shared with you before that I feel like I'm in this weird space that, so maybe I'll be an epiphany on this one, that after the kids have gone off to school, it's kind of like, just graduated from high school, this, the quads and all that was so much a piece of kind of my life that I'm in this kind of like transition of what's kind of the next chapter going to be, because there isn't any big driver right now. So maybe I'll be epiphany on that. What's the next big thing?
the next big thing. Workshops, things that we are offering, you and I. A lot of people reach out to us and ask how they can learn to be more in touch with their divination, understanding astrology, that they don't really subscribe to any spiritual, religious space, but they want to understand more about the stars and the stuff going on in the universe because checking in with us every week has helped them feel like, oh my gosh, it makes sense now. And now I don't feel like, it's all my fault. I really like that. I enjoy when people can see things like I do in a sense that, man, I can empathize and feel connected through astrology and then be like, man, I feel that anger today. Man, I feel that Mars and Aries today. I feel it right here. And then to be like, oh, and I kind of have some ways that I can work on that. And I don't immediately jump to like, why am I so hateful? What's wrong with me? Why can't I like I don't have to internalize it when I feel connected into ways that it might be influencing me from the outside in. And I really enjoy that. So, I am excited that you are back and that you are joining us for the show and that people want to learn how to tune in and tap into the stuff that you do and that you are going to be offering workshops and readings and you and I together doing some really cool stuff going into fall. So, you guys, if you're not subscribed, I don't know where the button would be. It would be somewhere over there, up here, maybe down there, depending on where, here, there, anywhere, depending on where you share. Click the share, subscribe, and watch and have some fun, do the things. I wasn't going to rhyme
Absolutely.
with watch and say crotch, but that's where my mind went, so I just stopped. But anyway, I'll wrap on another show. You guys, Sunday is also another place that you can catch Matt if you just did not get enough of him tonight and you thought, dang, the shows are better with Matt. I think it's just Matt, and I want to watch Matt and only Matt. You can do that on Sundays. Right,
Well,
Matt?
you were with me this last Sunday, so you can go ahead and watch it too. And they're always great shows when it's the two of us on that too. So
Right. And you have guests often, so it's
yeah,
not only Matt. It's like you'll
it's not
get sick
only
of
me.
it or overdose or
I
anything.
mix
But
it up. I
yeah.
mix it up.
And on Sunday, I mean, you and I, gosh, we love Halloween, and I can't believe that it's over already. I feel like it didn't even happen.
I know. Well, it didn't
I,
happen for me because I was stuck in a truck stop.
God
I
dang.
missed most. I had my favorite week of the year. I missed most of it.
Man, it's so weird. COVID is so weird. My kids looked up at me and they were like, is it always going to be a trunk or treat now? And I was like, I don't know. I think the aliens left us here and we didn't go in the right singularity or something. And it might always be trunk or treats from now on, kids. I'm sorry. Like, what's going on? But anyway, yeah, that's a whole nother show. I'm excited about Sunday Night Dead and that you're going to continue to keep scary concepts and paranormal topics and talking about horror movies and all sorts of things, right?
Yeah, it's kind of a mixed bag. We do a little of this stuff. We do a little of ghost type stuff. We do investigations. We have guests. I kind of keep mixing it up because
We need to talk about the
interesting.
Travis Scott concert and all the strange ridiculousness that people will not leave me alone about. Brianna said, No Man's Land? OMG. Brianna, I got a job offer this week, and then all of a sudden my internet went out the day that I was supposed to do No Man's Land. Not that I'm going to be a conspiracy theorist, but you know that I am. And so I haven't been able to do any of my podcasts since I announced that I was going to be starting my podcast again last Friday. So thanks, Guy Fox, and all the how that went down. That's okay. I did tonight's show on a Wi-Fi hotspot on my phone, and tomorrow it's going to be remedied. And yes, No Man's Land, as well as a podcast of women and kind of random crone talk, is going to be offered on my channel. So all sorts of weird, crazy things. But you guys, you got to be here next Tuesday, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Matt, I'm going to post your email and things in there, but let them know where they can find us if they need to get a hold of us before then.
Yeah, so if you want to contact us about astrology readings, tarot readings, or just anything in general, mslozer@yahoo.com, Autumn Moon Astrology on Facebook. This show, Astrology and Alchemy on Facebook. And then you have paranormalsierra.com. And yeah. And we definitely, we got to get working on, we've both been kind of distracted with some other things going on, but we got to get ready to launch this like workshop thing. I think it's really cool.
It's going to be something I'm kind of hoping to do at 12 Days of Christmas and giveaways and breakdowns and be able to launch it for all sorts of cool stuff for people to have for the holidays, really. So, you guys, don't forget, sign up, join us next week, tag a friend, bring somebody. It's free, and give us your thoughts and feedbacks on the show. And don't forget, all of that stuff we posted in the chat, or like Matt said, all of those links, they work. Wherever you found us tonight, go to the direct message, go to the message, go to the comments, leave your thoughts, and let us know that we'll see you next week, because we appreciate you, and we do. We want to see you next week.
Absolutely.
So hopefully we'll see you here. Be here or be square next Tuesday at 9 p.m. for Astrology and Alchemy with your hosts, Paranormal Sarah and Matthew Slozier.
Take care, everyone.